probably at some point in your life you've seen a product label or an advertisement that says, "Warning, this product contains nicotine." Nicotine is very common in our world. According to the World Health Association, over 1 billion people worldwide use tobacco products, and according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, 20% of Americans use some type of nicotine product. But even though it is so common, probably most people don't know all that much about nicotine. I have endured the grueling task of reading PubMed articles so that you don't have to. And I'll be explaining the mechanism, effects, both positive and negative, and nicotine's addictive nature. But briefly, what is nicotine? It is a stimulant which, according to the National Library of Medicine, stimulants are a broad class of drugs that increase the activity of the central nervous system. And then nicotine is also mainly found in the tobacco plant, though it is also found in some other plants of that species, like tomatoes. And just as a disclaimer, I will not be discussing the different ways to take nicotine. Many of these, such as smoking, are dangerous. Smoking is carcinogenic. Alright, so what is the primary mechanism behind nicotine? The primary mechanism behind nicotine is that it binds to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. Acetylcholine has two types of receptors, muscarinic and nicotinic, which is what nicotine binds to. When it binds to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, it releases acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine and epinephrine, vasopressin, growth hormone, and adrenocorticotropic hormone. Acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, and norepinephrine are all neurotransmitters, and these are basically your body's messengers, chemical messengers, and they're very important. Acetylcholine affects your memory and motivation a lot. Dopamine, you've probably heard of it. It heavily affects your mood, motivation, and focus. It's kind of like your want neurotransmitter. And then serotonin heavily affects your mood. It's kind of like the happy hormone. And then it also affects your sleep. Acetylcholine, or sorry, epinephrine and norepinephrine are both heavily responsible for your fight or flight response. And then vasopressin increases your blood pressure. Growth hormone is responsible for growth in your body, and adrenocorticotropic hormone releases cortisol, which it's kind of like the stress hormone, and it affects your blood pressure, blood sugar levels, and some other things. But what does this actually do? So the positive effects of nicotine is that it improves mood and focus, and then it can also be used to treat Alzheimer's. This is because it releases the important neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, and all those, and which improve your mood and focus and all that. And then Alzheimer's disease is linked to low levels of those neurotransmitters. And then in addition, it can have a calming effect. This is because it releases, as a secondary mechanism, it releases an endorphin, which endorphins are kind of like your body's natural painkillers, and it's how your body deals with pain, basically. And then it can also help with weight loss because it reduces appetite. The negative effects is that it can potentially cause diabetes because it reduces insulin resistance and has some other effects. It can cause cancer through some various general effects, and then it can cause some specific types of cancer like lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, gastrointestinal cancer, and breast cancer. And then it can also cause some cardiovascular issues because it increases your heart rate and blood pressure. So, like similarly to caffeine, if you take it over a long period of time, you're gonna screw up your heart and blood and all that, blood vessels and all that. And then it can also suppress some functions of the immune system. But there's one more downside to nicotine, and that's probably what's it's most famous for. Its addictive nature. Nicotine on all the labels, it says warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. According to the National Library of Medicine, or sorry, the U.S. Surgeon General, nicotine is as addictive as cocaine or heroin. And that's because it influences dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, these really, really important neurotransmitters. And then it also, um, over time, causes um, the receptors to be desensitized. So when you take nicotine, you don't feel the effects as much, and when you're off of nicotine, you will not be as happy in general. Alright, so in summary, the primary mechanism behind nicotine is that it binds to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. This releases lots of important chemicals. These um, chemicals have some important effects, both positive and negative. Probably most notable is that it improves your mood and focus, but it also can cause diabetes, cancer, um, cardiovascular issues, and immune problems. Your body can deal with nearly anything you put into it once. However, nicotine is very addictive. So if you take it once, you probably won't only take it once, which is what makes it so dangerous and why you have that warning on the product label. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.